Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I've got workmen out in the over the back. In between my house and that house is a little park. It was a little kiddies play park, you know, with some swings and a seesaw and stuff like that. And the councillor came round yesterday and just ripped all of that out. Apparently they can't afford to maintain it, and there's safety issues, you know, because kids don't know how to play on a swing nowadays. Oh God. But apparently it's now just a designated green space, so there won't be anything in it apart from grass. They've even taken the bench away, you know, where people could sort of sit and relax in the shade of the tree. Anyway, but workmen going on, so there's all sorts of noise out there, so I'll keep this quick. My Orchid Facebook page, thanks for everybody that's joining in with that. There's obviously an awful lot of people on the Facebook page that don't necessarily watch the YouTube videos, and vice versa, I'm sure. But it has been drawn to my attention, thank you Martin, that there are some people that have put in friend requests, and quite honestly they come in quite large numbers, so you know I just confirm the request, but there is some inappropriate stuff going on. Now Martin spotted a couple and I've spotted a couple. You won't get anywhere with it, trust me. You will just be taken out of the list straight away. Inappropriate, I mean links to things with a sexual connotation, religious, politics, all the stuff that's nothing to do with orchids. If it's not orchids, I don't want to know on that page. So let's stick with the orchids, and so far all the comments and everything have been really nice and friendly, because that was the bit I was worried about. Facebook can get a bit out of hand and little arguments start. We haven't had any of that yet, so I'm really pleased. And thanks for everybody that started posting on there. That's good. I didn't want it just to be about me, you know, and pictures of my orchids. I wanted it to be a place where people can share. That's what Facebook's all about. So it seems to be taking off. There's well over 1,000 people have joined in now. More work for me. Cheers. Anyway, a couple of new blooms. That's all I'm doing today. I've got some out ready. The first one is this Dendrobium conico, which is a cross between Goldschmidtianum and the infamous Victoria regina. Now this bloomed last year and I was well pleased, and I think those blooms were totally out of season, because there's nubbins showing on many of these older canes now. Some are turning into buds, so it's going to be actually open soon, but there's more to come. There's little nubbins showing on quite a few of these older canes. So given that they actually last a nice long time, that gives a chance to for the nubbins to catch up with the actual buds. It looks like I'm going to have quite a lot of blooms on that. They are nice, lovely clusters of very like the hibiki in the sort of form that the clusters take. So that's probably going to be the first of the. Now that this one is, I think this one is more seasonal than I thought, and I think this is probably a more natural time for it to bloom. So although it's not a true winter rester by any means, just drier in winter, like everything, drier in winter. Yeah, I think this is more going to be about the season it's going to bloom. So all of these new growths, which are still growing, they haven't finished yet, so they've grown on through the winter, so that would have been a daft idea, resting that, wouldn't it? Those are going to be next year's blooms, I suspect, but who knows? They may bloom later this year. You know, it just might be one of those plants that blooms when it's good and ready. Some do that. Anyway, that's that one. Now the other one's going to be difficult because I'm not getting it down. But out of the true winter resters up here, we have a forerunner. Now, last time I looked at that and filmed it, I was looking at the length of the canes, and I missed those two buds on that little short cane. Now that's Dendrobium primulinum. Lovely delicate blooms on there, and out of the winter resters, that's obviously now going to be the first one to produce some blooms. There will be a lot more on that plant. I mean, this cane that I've got my finger on, every leaf node has a bud pushing out. Yeah, so that's going to be a good show on this cane, but I missed those buds last time round, so that will be the first resting dendrobium blooms this year. Certainly earlier than last year as well. It did bloom last year, but anyway, that's those out of the way. And stuff over here, the Cymbidium, singular, one and only, and there won't be any more, take up too much room, is just opening. This had 2 spikes last year. Let's see if I can find a bloom that's quite open so that we can see the colours. There we go. I like the colours on this. They balance nicely. Cymbidiums are a bit like Cattleyas. Sometimes, for me, I mean, we all have our personal tastes, the colours are out of balance. They just are. I mean, the Cattleyas that are bright yellow with a red lip don't appeal to me. They just don't. And certainly some of the Cymbidiums, the colour combinations of the patterning and colour in the lip and then the colour of the petals and sepals don't seem to be in balance. But this one I quite like. The colours go together naturally. There goes the racket out in the park. Ugh, goodness, what they're doing out there now. This little Cattleya, these are taking quite a while to open. And this one's decided to open pointing skywards, which makes it very difficult to see, I must admit. I mean, that spike's not staked or anything, so these blooms are opening the way they wish to. And if they wish to point upwards, then so be it. But nearly open properly now, but you can see the lovely red inside the lip. See, now that combination's okay. Orange and red, I quite like that. But nonetheless, lovely orange and a nice deep red in the lip there. But I don't think this lip opens up wide like some of the Cattleyas do. It does stay sort of funnel shaped, tunnel shaped, whatever you want to call it. But I don't want to bash it around too much trying to open it, because if I knock the pollinator off, then the bloom will collapse. So we don't want to do that, do we? Right, what else? This Cattleya is open now, and last time this one appeared on the scene, quite a few were worried about the patterning on it and thought it might be virused. That is what it looks like. That's just the colours it comes out. It's been doing it for some time now, so if it has got a virus, it's living with it, which is possible. No cure, but some plants can live an awful long time with a virus and survive. But if it was virused, we'd have markings on the leaves. The leaves would not be happy as well, so it's not a virus, it's just that's the colour. And I like this one. You know, that's a lovely deep yellow gold inside the lip there. Gorgeous one, that one. And the big blousy orange one's still doing well. It's very unusual to get a Cattleya that's all one colour. You know, the orange on the lip is the same orange as the petals and sepals, which it just makes it a single colour. But then it forms a splash in the grow room, just a splash of that lovely deep orange. So I'm happy with that, even though it's only one colour. Most Cattleyas are at least two-tone. Anyway, I like that. We've got a few more blooms coming out on the epidendrum over here, and the buds are starting to show a bit better on the other spikes, although they are a bit behind. But at least we've got, yet again, a nice splash of colour. This one's a lovely orange, but it's got yellow, so it is two-tone. I like that one. And somewhere I spotted yesterday was a Tolumnia. Oh, there it is, up in the gods. I don't think this is fully open yet, but this is one of the new ones. This is the one of the ones from the Christmas do. Let's see if I can get it to keep still, because these are small and I'll have a job to focus on that. Now that's just opening, and looking at the picture, which I'll show you in a minute, it's going to be a colour changer. So this one is opening very pale, almost a whitish cream with some deep burgundy or maroon coloration and spots and patterns, and then this very, very delicate coloration around the outside. So that's as it's opening. what does the picture look like? So I think there's going to be a lot more pink. So this is going to fade the other way. But some Tolumnias do that. Quite a lot of orchids open a deep colour and fade to a paler colour. The Tolumnias often go the other way round, and they'll open pale and then get their colour later. If you think about the Tolumnia peach up here, this opens bright yellow with hardly any colour at all, and then that deep peachy colour, which is where it gets its name, Tolumnia peach, comes later and gets deeper as it ages. So Tolumnias often go the other way round. Oh, you like this as well. This Tolumnia has been out ages. This is, I always forget the name of this thing. It's Golden Sunray or something or other. But this one does start to fade paler as it fades. Now, the original spike's long since gone, and what's in bloom at the moment are branches. But now look, the branches are branching. So I'll say it again, don't cut your Tolumnia spikes off. And not only that, on this plant, this latest growth over here has also got a spike coming. So this one will catch up with this, yeah? And this has been in bloom probably 4 months now, maybe even longer, just by continuously branching. Yeah, so that's a good value for money, that one's in bloom for flipping ages. Now this one up here has no sign of branching yet. We'll keep our eye on it. At the moment, this is the original flush. This is what they normally look like when they first open. A nice bunch of flowers on the end of a long spindly spike. But we'll keep our eye on that one. I can't remember whether this one branches naturally or not, but we shall see. Anyway, another Tolumnia joining us. And there's another one, where is it? Up there. That one will be coming soon. Can't see what the hell I'm pointing the camera at. I know it's silhouetted, but it's, you know, it's just to show that there's some more buds that should be opening soon. So that'll be good. And that's about it for today. Oh, I suppose I better show you this as it's opening. It's a clivia or whatever it's called. Yeah, very unusual blooms. I don't know whether they open any more than that or whether that's it. But that's a good show. I'm well pleased because I think that there is an old bloom spike down in there, buried down in there. So this particular plant has bloomed before. I need to start watching this big bush. And there's the reason we need to watch the big bush. The sheer number of little spikes coming out. They're coming out all over the place. So this is going to have a lot of blooms this time round. And on this plant, I've never seen more than 1 bloom per spike. Well, that one looks like 2. So we're getting better. But I need to stop waggling this around now because I'm going to start knocking spikes off. It gets pushed and shoved around a lot. Some of the buds are advancing quite nicely. You know, we've got some that should be in bloom in the not too distant future. But there's little spikes coming out all over this plant, literally. And the more you look, the more you find. Down here there's some, yeah. So we should get quite a few blooms on that. I've only ever seen spikes come out of areas. There's another lot down through here. Look, that's what I say, the more you look, the more you find. There's another one up here. You keep looking, just keep finding them. They keep popping up. But I've only ever seen spikes coming off areas of canes that have lost their leaves. Now this has still got leaves on the end of the cane. It's not completely deciduous, but the buds only seem to come from the leafless parts. Now on the new growths, they're still fully leaved and they haven't started to branch yet, but this has a branching nature. If you take this cane here, looks like it's just finished growing. It's got a branch coming out here, and if you follow the cane back up, it's got all these branches up here, and they'll gradually get longer and arch over and make it an even bigger bush and even more difficult to look after. Anyway, that's it for today. Just a quick look at a few blooms, and as I say, thanks to the people that have joined in with the Facebook page, and keep your eye out, you know, help me out on that. If you see any links to inappropriate stuff, you know, I don't want that on the page. Let's just stick to the orchids, keep it nice. and we'll go from there. There will be some gaps in videos coming soon. I've got a busy day on Saturday, so I won't be able to film on Saturday. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do my Sunday morning chat, but I'm not quite sure whether I'll get round to being able to film anything tomorrow, Friday. So it might be I might have a couple of days off, but certainly I won't be filming on Saturday. There'll be a gap. I know it seems daft, but I like to say that because some people worry. You know, when you post every day and then suddenly you go missing without any warning, people worry that you've had an accident or something like that, you know. So if I know I'm not going to post, I like to say in advance, then people don't worry. Oh, and another little thing, this little Arengus, I've always said that it's a reliable bloomer. It always pushes out 2 spikes from the main plant, but it does have another little plantlet round the side. And guess what? It's another spike. So that little plantlet has now got to blooming size as well. So we've actually got 3 spikes on that. So that'll be good. Not bad at all. And certainly one of those spikes has got at least 3 buds on it. I think I've only ever had 2 buds per spike on that one. I mean, that plant isn't going to get any bigger as far as the leaf size is concerned, but it's capable of growing more plants from the base, forming like a little clump. And the more of that it does, the more spikes it's capable of producing. So coming on nicely, lovely night scented. It's a sort of creamy green colour, I suppose, but bordering on white. Most of the Arengus are that colour because they're night fragrant, night pollinators, so they don't need colour. But yeah, coming soon. They're starting to swell now. You can see the spurs on the buds. They've all got nectar spurs, the Arengus family. Some of them are really long. Anyway, coming soon. Coming soon. I'll have to remember to come out in the night time and give it a sniff. Yeah, that's about it for now then, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, and thanks for those that watched the talk. Oh, and another thing, on YouTube at the moment, there's an advert that seems to be appearing on the front of quite a lot of people's videos, and it's for some sort of e-tool or something or other. It's over 4 minutes long. Don't waste your life watching that, for goodness sake. Just skip out of it. And I've always said it's not compulsory to watch the adverts, or the videos for that matter, but you know, in my mind, a maximum of 30 seconds for an advert. If it's any longer than that, just skip it. It's not that important. I know it's nice to support the channels that you're subscribed to and watch the adverts and help them out, but you know, don't waste your life watching adverts. It's not worth it. And that one is just too long. It is, and it seems to be on quite a lot. They've obviously spent a lot of money getting that advert around, but yeah, I'd say 20 to 30 seconds is comfortable. Any longer than that, well, it certainly pushes my patience limit anyway. So and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.